What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I am going to be talking about a kind of controversial topic. It is the new Dave Chappelle's show, Sticks and Stones, which is on Netflix. If you haven't watched this show already, I would highly recommend to not watch this video and go watch that show first and then come back and watch this, because there are going to be a lot of references I make to the show that you won't necessarily get if you haven't seen it yet. So go watch that first. Now, on to the point. Watching this show, I loved it. I laughed my freaking ass off because Dave Chappelle is hilarious. He has always been hilarious, and he is one of the few people that I've seen in modern times now, which is a weird kind of statement in itself, that actually speaks the truth. And nowadays, if you call it like you see it, you will get absolutely ridiculed online by critics. My entire life, I was told by my mother, oh, if critics hate this movie, it's usually good. And so that was something that I was brought up knowing as a child. Never trust what the critics say, because half the time the things that the critics like is the boring stuff, or the stuff, you're not gonna like. And even now, in this day and age, it blows my mind that we're in 2019, and if you say something out of place online, it's like a witch hunt. You're absolutely crucified. If you say something that just slightly offends someone, it's like, oh my god, you're cyberbullying me. This is harassment. And it's like, if you're gonna cry on this online, because a lot of people have these magical things called keyboards now. They don't have to go out and interact with the real world. They just sit behind a computer screen and then they argue with you through some kind of, social media platform with this thing called a keyboard. Would they say this to you in your face? Absolutely not, because a lot of these people, they're not confrontational, but when they have that armor of fighting behind a screen where it's not a face-to-face confrontation, they're a lot more vigilant in that way. And they get offended by absolutely everything. Heck, I can't do a video where I'm joking around with some of my friends and say something that is very obviously a joke or a sarcastic comment without people losing their freaking shit about it. And it made me think of back, when women had to wear full-length skirts, right before, the 1920s hit, and all the women, cut their hair off and wore the short dresses, the flappers. It was before, like, oh my god, did you see that woman's ankle? Like, I feel like that's where we are right now. It's like, oh my god, she showed her ankle. It's the worst crime ever. Oh my god, somebody said something online that somebody else didn't like. They're the worst person on the face of the planet. And they use these terms so easily, and I'm trying to be as general as possible without using these terms, just because, again, we have to live in that age where now we have to censor ourselves. I want to do it so that way this video doesn't get taken down, just because all of my friends that I've seen cover this topic. It's like the second you have Dave Chappelle in the title, your video gets demonetized, or it can get blocked worldwide. So I'm going to be very careful about the terminology that I use in this video. Also, I want to go and look at what all the critics have said, because I've done videos on the past about all the controversy revolving around Rotten Tomatoes, and, the stuff that they do with Star Wars Resistance. Oh my gosh, it has all these outstanding scores. Everything is 5 stars. All those, page after page after page, 50 reviews per page. Every single review on that page it's not a review, it's an empty thing by some random person that made an account that reviewed one movie, or one TV show, which was Star Wars Resistance. They left it 5 stars, didn't leave a single comment, haven't commented on another thing, but somehow this show has, audience likes it, everyone likes it, even though all of these are not real, because that's one of the things online. You can really fake things, especially when it's companies that just tell every single employee, hey, before you're allowed to clock out from work today, you have to go do this. It's a big scam, and it can be proven if we're given the right tools, and we're allowed access to all of the equipment that, or the tools again that we would need to go and get that information, but we're not. And it's very manipulative, the things that we see, but I think that's why a lot of people are coming to places and outlets like this here on YouTube, and that's why things like the Dave Chappelle show, and the one specifically on Netflix. Outstanding audience score. Every single person that I have talked to in real life loves it. You see the critic score? Absolutely awful. Because he's saying the things that they don't want him to say, that they are afraid of, because it's not censored, it's not PC. He's not, it's a comedy show, it's a stand-up comedy show. Part of comedy is you make fun of things in real life. That's part of comedy. It's an outlet for real life. I myself, I make fun of the fact that I'm so small all the time. I call myself a hobbit. I don't feel bad. I'm not ashamed of how small I am. I'm embracing the fact that I'm tiny and I call myself a hobbit. That's not me, degrading myself. It's funny, it makes people laugh, and I'm freaking proud of the fact that I'm a hobbit because, hobbits are cool. They threw a ring in a mountain. They did cool things. I'm glad that, I'm small and I can relate to other, small hobbits. It's funny. But some people can't stand any form of humor, any form of criticism, because for some reason people forgot what it meant to have thick skin or skin at all. But I want to go take a look at some of these because it's very, very telling, the things that the critics are writing versus people that have actually watched it and are not looking at it through a lens of, oh my gosh, he's so offensive, he made fun of A and B and C. Like, how dare he? It's like, A, B, and C, yeah, everyone can take a joke, or, that's part of comedy, and if you don't understand that, well, then you probably shouldn't be reviewing comedy. But let's go take a look at this because it is very, very telling. Alright everyone, so I have the Rotten Tomatoes scores pulled up, so we're going to look at this a little bit and then read what the critics wrote, the very, very, PC, if you will, critics on, this Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones stand-up, comedy. I don't know why this has been such a big issue for people, but with the way everything has been going on in this world, everything is getting censored, and especially when it comes to entertainment. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but I mean, back, early on in the century, we had prohibition. Nobody could have alcohol, so you had to, bootleg it, and that's, the Roaring 20s, the 1920s, everything was illegal, but everyone was having parties and having fun because the mainstream society deemed it, undesirable, unfit. It was shamed on if you drank alcohol, but now apparently it's shamed on if you have fun. And I kudos to Dave Chappelle for just throwing caution to the wind and calling everyone out. He says it in the stand-up. If you watch it, he said, "You're offended by what I'm saying? You clicked on my face. You didn't have to." I say that all the time when people come to my channel and, leave hateful comments on my video. It's like, you clicked on my video. You didn't have to. When, I'm an adult. When I don't like something, I don't finish watching it. I go watch something else. If it's bothering me that much, I continue. I move on. Some other people don't because, it's... Well, I don't know. I don't know what the excuse is. But to me, it's very childish. But look, 30%, according to them, it's a flop. 99% audience score. Very telling. I agree with this score. It is a great stand-up show. If you, don't have a stick up your bum and, you can take a joke, you will very much enjoy this because everything he says in it is spot on and he is hilarious. He's Dave freaking Chappelle. And, we've missed him. He hasn't done much in, a while. So it was great to have him back. But then look, critic reviews for Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones. Let's read. From Melanie McFarland. Doesn't even have the balls to put a picture for herself. Sticks and Stones exists as a defiant design to intentionally offend large swaths of the audience. Chappelle deems too thin-skinned and easily outraged. A lot of these people, I feel like they need to look in a mirror before, they speak. Because this first, I'm not even, oh yeah, I guess that was the end of her first sentence, even though this is not capitalized. She's a critic, she should understand the way grammar works. But this first sentence just tells me who's really the outraged one. I mean, like Dave Chappelle said, you're the one that clicked on his face. Easily outraged, while serving up simple, low-bar yucks to anyone yearning for validation of their anti-PC stance. Well, I mean, no, and this is a top critic from salon.com. Like, what is it about hair? Is that what her website is about? Or I don't know. When I think of salon, I think of, hair salons. But this woman, all it tells me, she's very PC. Like dropping in on a rascally uncle who doesn't know or doesn't care how much he's disappointing you. So far, 2 women, and I'm pretty sure both of these women were probably very offended at the one joke he made about women's lady bits and how after a certain age it's not the same anymore. Something tells me both of these women are of that age, if not older, and were very offended by that. But, that's why it comes with the territory. If you can't, dish it, or if you're going to dish it, you better be able to take it. Something tells me that these women cannot take a joke, because both of what they said, they were offended. It's a joke. It is just a joke. Lacking empathy can certainly be amusing, but Sticks and Stones is a tired routine by a man who forgot to layer jokes into his act. He actually did. He is a very thought-out stand-up routine. I have gone to many stand-up, live stand-up comedy in my life, and, his was very thought out. Every single thing he said kept me intrigued. It was funny. I was laughing constantly. It is. He did do layered jokes. Did you not watch it, Ian? I don't think Ian watched it. Too often sounding like a pundit on Fox News. No. The only thing that he said that was somewhat political was he brings up the fact that, the whole abortion thing. He said if women get the right to choose, it's my body, which he says he was in support of that. If you want the right to say, it's my body, I'll do with it what I will, and he comes up with a rebuttal, or, he says he agrees with that, but he also believes that if it's your right, then if the guy, let's say the guy doesn't want to have a kid, and this woman is, putting him on that spot, then he says the man has the right to not pay. That's his little thing. And if anything, I got the feeling like he wasn't a fan of things that are said on Fox News, but he shows counter arguments. He makes fun of both sides of the spectrum without getting too political. So this just tells me that this person goes in with an agenda, and when you go in watching like a stand-up comedy searching for something, odds are, you're gonna set yourself up for that. He's one of the few comedians who can really touch on a lot of different sensitive topics and still make it funny. There you go. I agree with that. There are an overwhelming feeling of now, as you watch Sticks and Stones, it feels immediate, a plea for one of our very best comedians to his own audience to stop the hysteria. I feel like it's just him spewing common sense. It really feels like every single joke he told, it was like, oh my gosh, thank you for finally saying it. I've been saying it, a lot of other people like me on YouTube have been saying it as well, but it was really nice to hear somebody with the big platform that Dave Chappelle has to say it, and, to laugh about it. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. Like, guys, let's just... he has a cigarette, but it's like, let's just have a drink, have a cigarette, and let's just laugh about how ridiculous this stuff is that we're dealing with now. Like I said, it's back to the witch hunt. It's back to, oh my God, you can see her ankle. It's ridiculous the way that society has, made that full circle. And this is why I say history is important. It is very important for people to learn history so that way we don't repeat it, but we are. It's not bootlegging now, it's not prohibition now, but now it's censorship. Everything is censored. Everything is PC. Now, if you say something online, oh my God, you're Satan for saying a joke online that you offended someone. Oh my God, you're the worst embodiment of what humanity could possibly be because you said something as a joke that offended someone. Smallest violin for the world. Smallest violin for people like that. I couldn't help but appreciate the fact that, well, this guy will do it. He'll go there. I feel ya, Jeremy Johns. Hey, it's Jeremy Johns, the YouTube guy. Oh, that's cool. That's cool that his review got into, that's cool that now they're taking, YouTubers seriously as critics. That's very encouraging. I'm not, the biggest fan of Jeremy Johns. I haven't watched all of his videos, obviously. I'm not, like, the biggest expert on him, but that's cool that his review made it in. Good for you, dude. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. Sticks and Stones is designed to generate inflammatory coverage. No, it's designed to, tell it like it is. And, again, like I said, there is a joke in this. I'm not going to say it because my video will get an instant flag. He makes a joke in this video about women of a certain age, and again, it is a joke. I laughed at it. I'm not at that age yet, but I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. My mother, who is much beyond that age, laughed at it and thought it was funny. This woman, I'm assuming she got offended by it, but I mean, I don't think that woman is getting... I'm not even going to go there. Sticks and Stones is designed to generate inflammatory coverage. It's a symbiotic cycle with no end in sight. Well, I could say that right about you. And it's because the last thing a beloved provocateur should ever want to be predictable. Alright, I'm pretty sure I said that word wrong. I have severe dyslexia, that's why I don't script any of my videos. That's usually why I don't like to read too much when I do videos, but yeah, I try sometimes. I try really hard when it comes to reading out loud to people. It's like the thing that's the only thing I really get anxiety about. But yeah, these reviews are predictable. Now, it's like anything that I see, if the critics, like I said, when I was a kid, my mom said, hey, if the critics say it's bad, it's probably a good movie, and I found that to be one of the most truest statements that my mother ever taught me, especially when it comes to, film and film critiques. So, I know exactly what joke this woman was offended by, and it's very telling. Sticks and Stones is terrible. Well, this person just, Garrett Martin, you have no sense of humor because it was absolutely hilarious. And I know a lot of comedy is, everyone finds different things funny. Everyone has a different sense of humor. This was hilarious. I mean, unless, like I said, if you have a huge stick up your bum and you're offended by every single little thing on the face of the moon, you're going to get offended. Yeah, this guy has a huge stick up his bum. And Dave Chappelle can only blame himself for that. Well, I mean, what, you want to blame himself? Yeah. Congratulations, Dave Chappelle. 99% audience score. That's more than a lot of, Marvel movies. That's more than a lot of movies that have made $1 billion. You have a 99% score on Rotten Tomatoes from fans. Fans love you, Dave Chappelle. Your fans stand behind you. Nobody cares about the critics anymore because nobody takes the critics seriously anymore, and that's why they are throwing their little temper tantrums. Let's see these last two. I guess we can go and read all of them. Sticks and Stones isn't necessarily a failure. It just feels like Chappelle presenting half-formed material with few jokes that truly hit hard and stand out. Did you not watch the show? The audience were all laughing and falling out of their seats. I was at home laughing, falling out of my seat. My stomach hurt from how hard I was laughing. He hits it out of the ballpark, and his jokes are very, well thought out, and he hits the punchline every time. I don't think this person was watching the same thing, and this is a really big problem. If you're just sitting there and you're on your phone and you're not paying attention, you might miss some things. His show was great. The set mostly misses the mark. No, it did not. Everyone laughed. Every time Dave Chappelle was ready for a laugh, the audience laughed. And what is the mark? Okay, this should be a semicolon, and this should not be capitalized. The truth Chappelle remains one of the most vital and certainly among the most daring of stand-ups, ... His latest hour is a setback. Again, how is 99% audience score a setback? As far as I'm concerned, 99% is an A. It's an A. 30%? Yeah, obviously that's not an A. The audience, they're the ones that are going and buying tickets to go see the movie, or, going and watching this thing. Netflix? I mean, this is kind of good on Netflix for putting something like this out there, because Netflix is, from my research, from what I've been told, from everything that I've seen, is, kind of on that, PC culture hype, at least with some of the shows that they put out. There's other shows that I have really liked that Netflix has done, and, this is really telling that, Netflix is willing to do something like this. And even Dave Chappelle, like I said, he calls it out. He says, "You clicked on my face." And, if you have a problem with stand-up comedy, if you have a problem with somebody telling you like it is, and, everyone is laughing, 99%, approval from all the audience that have voted, so there's only 1% of the audience, which is probably the critics with their, non-critic account, that is going in and, downvoting and complaining about this, then, that 1% is the one with the problem. 99% of the people liked it. It's very telling. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this little read-through of the difference between critics and, the difference between people that actually watch shows for enjoyment, for people that actually can take a joke. And, it's something that we've all been dealing with in culture today. And it's one thing to shut out all the politics, to shut out everything that's going on in the world and just want to sit back and enjoy entertainment. But that's something that they have infiltrated now, and it's like, Jesus, I can't even sit back and watch a damn stand-up comedy without people ripping it to shreds because it's offensive. It's like, it's comedy. That's, you make fun of things. It's funny. Yes, some things are going to be, self-deprecating, or, just deprecating to, this idea in general. It's funny. We all laugh about it. Adults can take a joke. When you have to go out of your way, and yes, okay, you're a critic, again, like I've said a few times in this video, my mother told me, if critics don't like it, it's probably good. I found that to be very, very true. And in this comedy show that I was laughing so hard, my stomach started hurting. Everyone that I've talked to has loved it. Everything that Dave Chappelle said was spot on. Because he's right. This is what's going on in the world. And, people can't take a joke, especially critics, especially all these people that are supposed to be professional reviewers. It's like, they don't want to admit what the problem is because they're part of it. But anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, if you decided to watch this without watching the Dave Chappelle comedy show, I would highly recommend watching it. It is on Netflix. It is absolutely hilarious. They put a few other of his stand-up comedies from a few years ago. They are all hilarious. I would highly recommend to go check that out. If you want to laugh, if you are just as tired with all this PC witch honey nonsense, oh my god, she showed her ankle prohibition type of stuff, but in modern time, you will love this. You will get a kick out of it. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter right now. I will probably be doing more videos on this in the future just because I see it as a huge threat to every narrative that they are trying to push nowadays, which is, if you aren't with us, you are against us Sith type of mindset, which is very much how they are. And, it's like, oh, you don't agree with every single thing that we're saying, then you are, a bad person kind of thing. But, yeah. I feel like this is going to it already is making a lot of noise because he's out there. He's, I feel like, in my opinion, he's a pretty big public figure. I've been watching him since I was a kid. Dave Chappelle is awesome. He's hilarious in everything that he's been in. And for him to speak out against this kind of stuff, maybe this will be lucky and this will be a domino effect and others will start speaking out against it as well. Because for it to be making this big of an impact in the entertainment industry, it is a huge problem, and, it's been wrecking movies that I enjoy. I mean, heck, I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for what happened with The Last Jedi, and, me going in expecting to see a Star Wars movie and getting that BS. Me and a lot of people, out there are not happy with the way that things have been going, and that's why we're all rising up to, fight this, because, the world is already a messed up place. Don't mess up the things that are here for us to escape the real world things, because everyone has some demons that they're fighting every single day of their life, and sometimes we need a break from that. We want to just go and kick back and, stop dealing with the hell that is, adulting, that is real life, and just sit back and watch a movie, watch a TV show, watch a stand-up comedy show without, everything being censored, everything having to be politically correct. And Dave Chappelle calls a lot of that out, and it's refreshing. I enjoyed it. Not only was it funny, but he was speaking the truth, and I respect the hell out of him for it. So, everyone, let me know what you thought about, the Dave Chappelle comedy show in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell. That way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day. And may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I have an Etsy store, so if you've ever wanted to own a print of my artwork, this is the place to go. As you can see, I have a lot of recognizable characters, from horror films to heroes to Star Wars characters. Some of the notable characters I have on here are Darth Vader, which I did a couple live streams painting, so you can own a print of this painting. I also have Luke Skywalker, the binary sunset version, one of my favorite scenes in the original New Hope movie. I have Darth Maul, which Ray Parks himself actually complimented me on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, Ahsoka Tano. So if you want to own any of these prints, go right on over to my Etsy store. Again, that's The Art of Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.